What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. Today is day 13 of 32 teams in 32 days, and we are finally on the AFC West. So we've already finished up the North, the East, the South, and we are down to our last division in the AFC. Like I said, AFC West, and we're starting off with the champs of the AFC itself, the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year on this very podcast, I predicted the Chiefs would go 14-2, and they ended up going 14-2. I'm a genius. What can I say? So no, I looked at this team last year. I thought they were just there was no holes. And this team really didn't have any holes until everybody got hurt on that offensive line and they got exposed in the Super Bowl. But when we look at this, man, they addressed those needs and they probably got even stronger, which is crazy to think. So, if you're not familiar with my previews, is what I do is I talk about additions and re-signings, departures, draft picks, strengths, weaknesses, and I end up doing a record prediction, and I talk about other stuff. So let's jump to it. As far as additions and re-signings for the Kansas City Chiefs, they get Jerick McKinnon, Demarcus Robinson, Orlando Brown, Mike Remmers, Kyle Long, Joe Tooney, Austin Blythe, Jaron Reed, Mike Hughes, Will Parks, and Daniel Sorensen. Orlando Brown, such a huge pickup, man. I know they gave up some capital. They give up a first round pick for Orlando Brown, but the dude is just, he's a left tackle. Baltimore, obviously, and for right reasons, didn't want to pay him left tackle money to be a right tackle. So I think this actually is one of those few trades I think works out well for both teams. But they needed somebody on that left side. Orlando Brown seems like he's going to be the guy. They shore up the line with Joe Thuney. Mike Hughes is kind of hasn't really lived up to the hype yet. Being that first round pick from, I believe, UCF, I think is where he's from. But he's a guy where why not, man? Take that chance. Kyle Long coming back from retirement. So I just absolutely love what the Chiefs did as far as additions and re-signings. As far as departures for the Kansas City Chiefs, they lose Le'Veon Bell, Damian Williams, Anthony Sherman, Sammy Watkins, Eric Fisher, Michael Schwartz, Pisonio, I believe is how you say it, Alex Okafor, and Brashard Breeland. When I look at it, Le'Veon Bell just what happened to that guy? That guy was so good in Pittsburgh and just fell off a cliff. I guess, Adam Gase space jammed him, sucked out all his livelihood. Damian Williams, a little bit of a loss. Sammy Watkins never really, did fantastic. Had a few really good games in Kansas City. I think they can end up covering up for that. I'm not too worried about it. Eric Fisher, Michael Schwartz, they lost. But like I said, they did all the right things to try to, build upon that. Pisonio, a little bit of a loss, not, wasn't their go-to guy, but definitely was a rotation guy who made some big plays. Breeland, a loss. I thought he was solid for the Chiefs, but with this draft, I really love the Chiefs. They didn't have that first round pick, but I love what they did as far as with the picks they did have. Nick Bolton, a really sideline backer who I absolutely love. I thought this was a fantastic value pick because they were missing that guy in the middle of the field, that thumper that kind of eliminates some mismatches. So I think Bolton's that guy. Creed Humphreys, which I'm surprised he fell. I thought he was going to be, I thought if he was there in the second round and Pittsburgh was on the board, I thought they were going to take him to replace Pouncey. He ends up going to Kansas City. Absolutely love the pick. Again, it shores up that offensive line just a little bit more. They end up getting, Noah Gray, a little bit of a tight end to help play behind Travis Kelce. Team strengths, it's the offense. I don't need to say a position group. It is the offense. They really did a great job of reinventing that offensive line. The team speed is just absurd on this team. Patrick Mahomes can absolutely throw it all over the field. I expect CEH to really kind of live up to the hype. We saw last year he was doing solid, not great, especially around the goal line. Had some blocking issues, but we saw him after the injury not play fantastic. But I think he's a guy who's going to bounce back in year two, play huge snaps, fantastic. So I really like what CEH can do. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Do I need to go in more to talk about those guys? Miko Hardman, I think is going to finally kind of step up, and his speed. And Andy Reid's a genius. He'll design it up so Miko Hardman can really eat this year. The weakness, I'm going to say the back end of the defense. I don't love their secondary, but I think they can apply pressure and they can do enough. And in all seriousness, when the worst part of your team's that back end of the defense, yeah, teams are going to be passing a lot, but I think that it's so minuscule when you look at the grand scheme of things. The Chiefs are so good. It's ridiculous. And I feel like, I'm just talking up the Chiefs, but I mean, you can't really talk down upon the Chiefs because that team is so made up so well. The biggest question mark when I look at the Kansas City Chiefs is the team is so solid. They don't really have a lot of question marks, but I am curious how, what they're going to do to kind of get that second wide receiver role. I think Miko Hardman's going to be completely fine. But will he have the full breakout year? Are they going to be kind of missing that third piece? Because we know that Travis Kelce's probably going to be doubled. We know that Tyreek Hill, you're going to have a guy on him and a guy over the top of him. So they have that room where somebody can eat. Maybe that's CEH. Maybe we see him more in the passing game. Maybe we see a little bit more running than we've seen in years past. But again, as far as question marks, man, this team is just it's good. For record predictions, 14-3. The reason I think they dropped 3 games is I think we saw this last year. They kind of got lucky and won a few games that they probably should have because they're getting complacent because they're one of those teams that are so talented and they know they're talented. They're just like, let's just get us to the playoffs, man. We'll see you guys in January. That's kind of the feeling this team has. So I expect them to drop, a game or two here and there, and they might lose, a game that they maybe should, again against a really good team. But expect them to lose something against like I don't know, the Chargers or, maybe even the Raiders. Raiders played them pretty tough last year. One of the games that they're better. They're the better team, but they just didn't show up that week. As far as bold prediction, I'm going to jump back to CEH. And I'm going to say that he's going to be top 5 in the league in rushing yards this season. I think the Chiefs are going to do whatever they can to really try to get downhill this year and just to change it up a little bit. It takes a little bit of pressure off Mahomes. It keeps him a little bit more upright and him not to have to do it all because we know what he's capable of. It also takes some hits off of Kelsey and Tyreek Hill, and it just lets them be a little bit fresher going into January, February. So I think CEH really blows up this year. Some of the people that were predicting it last year, I think it comes to fruition this year. And also, can we, like, I know we appreciate him, but can we actually show more love to Andy Reid? I mean, I really do think he's the greatest play caller in football history. This guy is a genius, man. Look at what he did with Alex Smith. Look what he did with the young Patrick Mahomes. This guy is just so underrated because he's been around so long that we don't fully appreciate the genius that is Andy Reid. All right. So I'm done talking. Let me know what you guys think, man. Drop in the comments. Do you guys think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm crazy? Whatever. Drop in the comments, who you think's going to break out. I have no idea what happened to my camera angle. I'm kind of confused of why I just went into wide shot mode. But like I said, guys, drop your comments. Let me know what you guys think. Please help support the show. Click like, click subscribe. And that's the only way I can grow. So guys, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you sticking around, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, thank you so much for sticking around for the entire video. Thank you for supporting the show, clicking that like button, subscribing, comments, all that fun stuff. If you could just take one more second and check out Rep Sports, check out Raise Energy. They are partnered with this podcast. They are help supporting me. So if you go and check them out, it's the best tasting energy drink on the market. 100% guaranteed. They have supplements, protein, pre-workouts, recovery, all that stuff. If you guys check them out and you use promo code SportsMuse when checking out, you get 15% off of your order. And who doesn't like, some money off of their purchase? That's awesome. So definitely check them out. And like I said, it helps support me. It helps support them. So please check them out, guys. And thank you again so much for sticking around.